knuckles, and I look down and my damn ex-wife on there, man. You know.
Wow, man. Yeah, well, that was quite a plot twist.
So I gotta go to Chick-fil-A right now. I'll see y'all later.
All right, sounds good. All right, we're keeping the scary stories going here on the Midnight Vultures radio show. Caller number 9. Tell us your favorite spooky story.
Hello, is this Ace Hardware?
Yeah, very scary how you don't pay attention. Wrong number.
Hello.
That happens from time to time. Don't worry. Let me ask the other line. All right, Midnight Vultures, you got a scary story for us?
Yeah, man, this one time I was taking a dump at a rest stop up near Picacho Peak. When I pulled in, I was the only car there, and it was around 3 a.m. I'm sitting there, doing my business when the door opens, and then some cowboy boots with those spurs rattling start walking in. Heavy, slow steps. I didn't hear any other cars pull up, so I figured this stranger must have been walking in the desert for a long time. I remained completely still, but the boots just kept walking slowly toward my stall until finally, the boots were facing right in front of my stall door. I felt a cold breeze and I stayed completely still. It was like silence fell over both of us. It felt like the air was sucked right out of that bathroom. Those boots didn't move and I couldn't tell if my mind was playing tricks on me, but when he took a breath, it sounded like a horse or some sort of animal. I finally mustered up the courage to say, "Hello," and not a response. Then some sort of demonic black smoke started coming down out of his pants and began crawling toward me. I let out a panic scream and asked him what he wanted. The man started getting aggressive with the door handle and then began to punch the stall, knowing he was about to break it down. Ooh, I felt the poop shoot right out of me and I screamed, "What do you want from me?" And in the most evil voice you've ever heard, the man said,
"Hi, Beef. We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Do you have a minute?"
Son of a bitch. Oh, come on, man.
Oh my God, he got you. That was awesome.
I don't know how they keep finding me.
I don't know either, man. This midnight show used to be something else, and it's not what it used to be, unfortunately.
Yes, look, people are still out there. They still have scary stories. I'm getting hungry anyways. Maybe we should call it a wrap. Anyone else want a roast beef sandwich? I'm just kidding. Let me just do another call. I'm sure we got scary stories out there.
One more.
All right.
All right, welcome to Midnight Vultures. You got a scary story for us?
I don't really have a scary story. I think I'd rather play a game.
No, dude. No, that's my thing. I say that.
It's a little game called Guess the Caller. What do you say?
Yeah, okay. Is this Douche Nozzle McGee or something? What do I win?
Are we in some kind of Saw ripoff parody? Is this what's happening right now?
Seriously.
No, man. We're having people tell us scary stories.
I'll give you a clue. 2 years ago, someone called in with a song request. A very simple song request. And you didn't play it.
I'm sorry, man, but that's not narrowing it down much. I get plenty of song requests every single day. I'm only allowed to play.
Do you remember the song?
No idea, man.
Come on, Beef. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit in the wind. You don't pull the mask off that old Lone Ranger. And come on, Beef.
I have no idea.
Say it.
Beef?
What's this guy on?
And you don't mess around with Jim.
There we go. That wasn't so hard now, was it? You're pulling the mask off the old Lone Ranger, Beef.
Yeah, okay, Jim.
Wait, do you know this guy?
Dude, I told you last time, we don't have that song in rotation. It's some boomer shit anyways. We don't play Jim Crow.
Not even for a guy 2 inches from death's door.
What the hell's he talking about?
All right. So like 2 years ago, this guy kept calling, right? And he called over and over again, and he was trying to, I was just trying to play some games, give out some tickets, and he was tying up my phone lines, and it pissed me off. And he finally started yelling about how he was in the hospital dealing with some internal bleeding or something after a car wreck. I don't know. It sounded like bullshit, so I had to block his number.
Oh my God, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, people are crazy.
How about it, Beefy? Care to play my song?
Here's a song for you, Jim. How about you go fuck yourself?
Oh,
Yeah, that's how we play.
yeah, I got a feeling that guy's not going to be too happy about that.
All right, so he's coming back from the past. You need to get a restraining order.
No, this guy probably can't even walk. Piece of shit.
He's going to call back.
Okay. I blocked his number anyway, so let's continue. Again, if you have a scary story you want to share in the Midnight Vultures, give us a call.
You don't tug on Superman.
Dude, I don't think you blocked the number.
Son of a bitch.
Don't spit.
Jim, you need to stop this, dude. All right. Midnight Vultures.
Hey, man, I got a song request.
Wait,
The hell?
That sounds familiar.
who is this?
Come on, man. You want to play a game? How about Morty Moron? Florida man.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, it's just
Christ.
getting weird. That guy sounded just like him.
Oh, and very well, too.
Obviously, we got some weird things happening right now, and I think we should wrap up this segment.
Yeah, I got a feeling you should just play that guy's song.
No, dude, we don't have that song. I'm not playing fucking Jim Croce.
Just go to YouTube or something. Play it from there. Bend the rules. Come on.
Bro, I'm into some weird shit, but this is even too much for me.
Oh, well, you know what? He could suck a dick. I'm not playing that stupid boomer song. We got cool. What the?
The hell?
I have everything turned off.
He was cutting about
sure you hung
100
up?
places. He was shot in a couple more.
That's not in our
You better
phones.
Does
believe.
this guy know where the station's at?
Sang a very different kind of story.
I don't know.
When Big Jim hit the floor.
What the hell is happening?
You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull a mask off an old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. I don't do that. Dee 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 dee. What out of South Alabama?
All right, we're live on the podcast broadcast. Welcome, everybody. That was our throwback Halloween open, Midnight Vultures. And Mari's not a fan of my acting, apparently.
No, it's good. It's cute.
No. But see, it's the way that your tone raises up an octave that I know that's a full-blown lie. It's cute.
You're doing really good with it.
Yeah. You get an Oscar. You're such a supportive mom, but just lying to my face. But welcome. We're going to have a great podcast broadcast for you today. We're going to be joined here shortly by Jason Devore of Authority Zero. We're going to debut a new single from him. Authority Zero is going to be opening up for the Caddies, the Mad Caddies, this Friday at the Rock. Now, yesterday we talked with Ryan from Phenomena Concerts.
Oh, you did that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was awesome meeting Ryan, getting a bunch of stories. One story that stuck out in particular was that he was the promoter for the Lil Peep concert the night that Lil Peep died.
Yeah.
So, like, the behind-the-scenes chaos of everything and having to go on stage in front of a sold-out crowd, not to break the news that, their artist that they love has just passed away. He had to say it was a medical emergency, but the writing was on the wall. Mm-hmm. And he said it went into full-blown chaos. People were punching security guards and almost went into a riot. And he also pointed out that nobody from Lil Peep's camp called the cops because, they were riding dirty. They had a whole bunch of illegal substances and drugs. They were living like rock stars. But, he went on to kind of dig into the fact that not only was there, a bunch of drugs on board, but everyone that was part of the crew was basically just young and in full-blown party mode. So there wasn't a responsible adult amongst them.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. So we found out about that and more, and it was great talking with Ryan. So we'll talk with him again, and definitely be seeing him again here in the future. But yeah, I just sent that invite to Jason, so I'll text him back to see if he got it going. And of course, we've been playing covers all morning long, and I wanted to play Authority Zero's Mexican Radio, but I guess it's a little dirty. What?
Maybe a good one.
It is a good one. Oh, we're playing actually this song. My Chemical Romance and the Used doing Under Pressure. Yeah, so we've had lots of covers and, of course, lots of cover suggestions on the KFMA Facebook page, which has been awesome. What's your favorite cover of all time?
Oh, I don't know.
Think about it.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, with your nice little alien ears. What about you, Emil? You're a music fan.
It's a really hard one to say. I really like the Foo Fighters version of Baker Street. I love Baker Street anyway, the Jerry Rafferty song.
Yeah.
They do a really good job with it, too.
I figured it out.
Oh, she got it.
Okay, well, you let him finish his thought.
I'm sorry.
That's pretty much it, though. I mean, they're missing the sax on it, but it's a good... Go for it, Mari. All right. You stole my thunder.
All right, Mari.
I'm so sorry.
Just joking.
Yeah.
Cancer bats, sabotage.
All right.
Oh, who?
Cancer bats?
Cancer Bats Sabotage. So they're covering the Beastie Boys Sabotage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you like that better than the Beastie Boys version?
I do. Well, no. I mean, I love the Beastie Boys, so it's very hard. But if I had to, I would probably choose the Cancer bats.
Okay. I wonder if Jason has ever heard of that song. Please welcome to the podcast broadcast. Oh, do me a favor, Jason. Turn
Happy
your phone
Halloween.
sideways so I can go
Turn it
full
sideways?
screen.
Let's do that.
Yeah, watch.
Sideways here.
Ta-da! And then,
so much
and then let's try this. Give me a thumbs up and see if anything happens on your screen. Wait for it. Nope, I guess nothing happens. Oh, okay.
What was supposed
That was
to
anticlimactic. I thought StreamYard, we've done this before when we have people like via like Zoom, when they do certain things, like little effects pop up. But
like
maybe
little
they
thumbs up
stopped that.
emojis. Keep going.
Yeah.
That's happened on my phone with some phone calls sometimes, and I have no idea if it's the person on the other side or if it's me.
Yeah, I know. That's how it usually is. So, good morning, happy Halloween, dude. How you doing?
Happy Halloween. I'm good. I just woke up, so thanks for having me on, dude.
Oh, no, well, I love responsible rock stars. You know what I mean? Like it's part of the gig. It's the hardest part of the gig, to be honest with you. Being a night owl and then waking up early to do media, but it happens. What's the name of this dude?
This is Jet. She's always the ball hog when it comes to media stuff. She finds her way into every interview and every moment on film. So yeah, man. How you guys doing?
We're doing good, dude. I'm excited that you're coming down here. This Mad Caddies tour looks like a fun little run that you're going to be doing here for a couple weeks that you're kicking off in Tucson. So I thought this would be a prime opportunity because I know that we touched base a little bit ago to talk about the new music that AZ's been releasing, which is good. Congratulations, by the way. You got a full album that you're going to be working on that you got in the can?
We have an EP that's coming out tomorrow, actually. It's been in the making since May. We started doing some writing in May, and then we just recorded out in California with Cameron Webb, who did our last 2 records out there. And we started writing. Our plan was it's our 30-year anniversary, so we were planning on doing some songs or doing something special, but we didn't know what we were going to do. And so we got together in a room for 10 days, and we wrote about 12 songs that were decent, but we wrote 6 that we thought were really good, so we recorded 6 of them and decided to put an LP out for the 30-year anniversary instead of doing this whole re-release of old box sets kind of thing or whatever. So it's exciting.
We're live on the air right now. Rock 102.1 KFMA. You're hearing Jason Devore of Authority Zero talking about 30 years of Authority Zero, which is crazy because goddamn, we're getting old. I recall, Authority Zero, I remember hearing One More Time for the very first time and being blown away in the buzz. And this is all when Authority Zero was still an unsigned band from Mesa, Arizona, starting to get radio play on the edge and blowing up from there. Of course, Jason joining us from his home. Assuming Mesa, did you ever move out of Mesa, or are you going to eventually run for the mayor of Mesa?
I'm in Tempe now. Yeah, I've been in Tempe for the last 20 years or so.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So are people in Mesa, are they mad that you left?
No, it's all hometown, man. It's all hometown around here. So I don't think half the people even know that I left Mesa, to be honest with you. I think it's still in the interviews and stuff. So I'm pretty sure they think I'm still based right back in my dad's apartment.
That's
why the band's still together. I just never grew up,
Right, exactly. Well, congratulations on 30 years of legacy. Now you're becoming a legacy act, which is insane to think as well. And you kind of seeing now when you're going on the road and you're working with all these iconic bands that you've been on tour with and stuff, are you seeing generational fans at this point where, it's like parents are coming up and like, I've been a fan of yours and here's my kid who's a fan of yours now too.
But now their kids are like 21 years old too, so let that soak in a little bit, because I met a lot of these kids too when they were probably about 5 to 7 years old, and then we'll not seen them at shows for ages, and all of a sudden they'll pop up, and they'll be 21 years old, and they're buying drinks and all this craziness. I'm like, what is going on right now? I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how old could I actually be? Because it doesn't make sense. The numbers aren't adding up. I actually just played a wedding for a lady who. For her daughter. Her daughter came out. She used to sneak her daughter into our shows when she was a kid, and I played her wedding. So her mom was there, and I got to meet her daughter, and it was weird, but it was cool. But it was just crazy, man. Mm-hmm. But it's been a wild ride, dude. Honestly, it's weird to think 30 years actually has been gone by already. It's a trip.
I know. Well, and it has been for all of us, right? You know, the time is flying by, but you know, nostalgia is a big thing, and we're you know, people are constantly going out and enjoying the things that they fell in love with when they were at those formative years. And so this Friday is an opportunity to do that. Mad Caddy's Authority Zero. I have a new single, or this was the first single off the EP that you're releasing tomorrow in honor of the 30th anniversary. Lights Out. Tell me about Lights Out before we play it.
Lights Out is a song about basically getting up and fighting for what you believe in. You know, whether it be anything really. Honestly, it's like instead of just sitting back and standing on the sidelines, if there's something you feel strongly about, just standing up for yourself and not being pushed around, and just getting up and doing what you feel is right. And it's kind of all in that song right there. And so we did a video for it with Brian Hayden, who's done a couple of our videos in the past, and there's fire everywhere, and it's really fun to watch. So it's on YouTube if you want to check it out too. And yeah, it Lights Out. It's a lot of fun. It's a really fun, intricate song. It's kind of branching across all of the genres that the band participates in, even adding some elements of hardcore into it, which is kind of a fun thing. As we get older, we get more intense. Weirdly, we're not getting less intense, which is fun.
Yeah,
and, it's only amplifying our angst and excitement to perform and play heavier stuff, it seems. So this song's got all of that. It's got a lot of the old school. It's got a bit of the new as well. And yeah, it's 30 years. Speaking to the Youth is the album coming out November 1st.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, let's play the lead single off that, Lights Out, for Speaking to the Youth, coming out on November 1st, which is tomorrow. Authority Zero, live, Rock 102.1 KFMA. Turn it up. Clear.
Yeah, I remember seeing you, I think, at Edge Fest when I was like 15.
Yeah, right.
Don't date them.
Yeah.
Don't.
But then climbing the scaffolding, though, do you still climb? Like, I mean, you used to like climb stuff.
He is in ideal shape. Like, you know, he's been doing the fitness thing still, you know, like has been working out consistently. So yeah, you still recreate that like chaotic teenager energy on stage for all these shows?
Yeah, you have to. Well, the exercise, I mean. Yeah.
Cardio.
If I want to keep on doing what I love to do, and like do it to where people aren't just coming out, like you say, seeing the old guy up there going, "Okay, buddy, maybe it's time." You know, it's like I try. I mean, but it's like it's a bit damaging sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Like a lot of those. A lot of those old jumping off the speakers from 30 feet like every single night. They've started catching up a little bit. They say around your 40s, and that's legitimately at 40 years old is when you start feeling your ankles going out. You're like, what's wrong with my back? Like all that stuff is happening.
Insane.
But
I know.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, I try and be intense on stage in different ways now. It's more of I focus a lot more on the singing aspect of it. I used to be more just like the stage show, but I think as I get older, like as like a lot of people get older, you try and divert your stage showmanship to like more how you sound rather than just how crazy can I get. You know, so I've kind of really started to try to focus more on my vocal cords and like just sounding good and getting better sounding as a band on top of the intensity on stage, I think, you know.
Yeah, well, but I mean, it did, you know, that was part of the Authority Zero show, was just seeing Jason just go like a madman, just like completely tweak out on stage and put out so much energy and just sweat like madness. It would be insane to try to like figure out how much sweat you have shed over the 30-year career. How many swimming pools you would fill up.
I'm telling you, bro, the last European tour we did, like it was every single night. And this is like, okay, so I quit drinking like 3 years ago. So I would sweat a lot more back then, obviously, like bad, weird crap. But now it's just like a good, healthy sweat. And it's like every show is just, I started filming after every show, just wringing out the t-shirt. Like I thought it'd be fun to do a compilation. But then I realized how gross that was. And I was like, don't edit that. It's disgusting, dude.
Oh, I love that.
It's so gross.
How much? Would you fill like a whole cup?
I would fill a cup. Legitimately, like one t-shirt. Like I can wring it out. One t-shirt. I think it's 4 times with good long pulls. I don't even know where it comes from. Honestly, I don't even drink that much water. So it's kind of wild.
Just straight salt. And, you know, it's funny. You probably, back in the day when he was drinking, you could probably get a buzz off that. It does remind me of a legendary story that Flea said at one time, or Red Hot Chili Peppers road manager. I forgot where I heard this, but say a groupie went backstage, and she was like, she's like, where's Flea? Where's Flea? And they're like, he already left, but there's his sweaty underwear that he wore at the show tonight. No. And there was a couple groupies, and they dove for the underwear, right? Yeah, and then the woman grabbed it and then wrung it out into her mouth. I know, but that's what Jason reminds me of here. He was doing that. I mean, he's just missing the groupie.
I'm just like doing it my own self. I'm like, I worked so hard.
I'm replenished. This is how he stays young. That's how he stays young.
You've earned this.
Yeah. That's a true story, though. You can look it up on the internet. It is folklore. Another story that reminded me of that, and 3 years sober. Congratulations on that, Jason. Because I remember one time we were talking about when you were in Russia doing your Russian tour.
Ooh,
yeah, and then getting sick from the water in Russia.
I think we invented the coronavirus. I'm not even kidding. Because what happened was we went over there. In short, we went over there. It was my bass player Mike Sparrow's first tour with us. So he's like all fresh and young, like 10 years younger than I am. So he's all stoked to go tour the world and be a rock star. And so we get over there, and Russia's our first stop. So day one, we get over there. We'd already been drinking on the plane the entire time, just because that's what you do to try and pass the time, But we got over there. We stayed with some locals at their flat, and they had this special Russian drink that you have to try. It is for guests only. And we're like, okay, let's do it. So we partake in that all night, and we get just, and in the middle of the night, I find Mike Sparrow and myself making our way to the kitchen sink to like just find water, and like any kind of water. We didn't think about we're in Russia, you probably shouldn't drink the water. So we're both just suckling like on this faucet, like it's the last thing to save your life. And we wake up in the morning just like feeling like garbage, of course, because it's a hangover for one, but. For two, like suddenly Mike starts feeling a different kind of bad throughout the day, and he starts like throwing up and like diarrhea everywhere.
Oh no!
And it's just like he can't hold water down, like any water. I'm not kidding. Like a sip of water, and instantly you have to go to the bathroom. It was weird.
Right.
It like triggered your sensors. Like even if there's nothing left, you had to go. But then he has that for 6 days. He's like turning green in the eyes, like literally looks like he's dying. His eyes are turning yellow, and the Russians are like. They're like, you know what cures sickness? More vodka. And so he's like playing along because he's a young buck and he's like doesn't want to disappoint anybody or get shot or whatever's going on the other time. So he's like, give me the vodka. So he keeps just drinking and he feels fine for that show that night. And he never never phoned it in on stage. He was just dying up there though. And then day 6 rolls around. We're in like Germany. Yeah, we're in Germany, this small town, little bed and breakfast. And in the middle of the night, I wake up. Almost like crapping my pants. Like I wake up like clenching my butt cheeks, like oh, and I run to the bathroom, and it's just the worst thing. And that morning is the morning Mike Sparrow woke up feeling great, and I woke up dying. So I then was now, it spread, or like my body finally got it, or caught up with like what we drank or whatever was happening. It was really hard to depict, but we got there. So I got it, and I started spiking a fever like 103, 104. Like it was bad. So that's happening. I'm vomiting. I'm diarrhea. I can't drink water. I'm dehydrated. I'm sweating as much as you say we talked about.
Right.
And I can't hold water in, and I'm already dehydrated on top of that. And so we have to go through the Swiss Alps tunnel, which is a 45-minute drive to get to the other side. You can't stop, obviously. And so I have to make sure that I do what I got to do right before we hit that tunnel. And so I do. And we go through the tunnel, and I make it through. I'm just clenching and in pain. And get to the other side, and I take one sip of water, just so I'm like, okay, finally I can take a drink of water in case I got to go to the bathroom, and I go right away.
Wow.
And it was crazy. That night I had a fever still, and I was laid in the van, just like sweating to death until it was showtime. I got on stage. I literally stood on stage in power stance, like to keep my butt tight. Because you're using your diaphragm on top of that when you're singing, so you're pushing for an hour.
Yes.
Yeah,
so,
you don't want to have an accident on stage
imagine?
in front of everybody.
Dude.
I can't imagine, actually. Yeah.
Somebody looking for those underwear after the show?
Bro, I hope not. I hope not. I got off stage at the end of our set. I ran through the crowd. I jumped off, ran through the crowd to the bathroom upstairs, ran back, jumped back on stage. We did an encore, and then we called it.
Right on.
But it was great.
Yeah, normally, at least that was a legit encore, because normally encores are so, like, played out where the band just steps to the side of the stage, and they're right there. You can see them, and then they come out. Like, it was a legit encore. He went, handled his business, came back as, like, a new man for a minute. I'm sure that encore was probably one of the best of your life.
It was. I earned that encore. I mean, they did too. They were. I can't believe they watched the show. Just like I was not the active personality that night on stage. I'll say that too.
Yeah.
I was just doing my job and getting through the motions. But we never canceled one show. That tour we did 30.
Nuts.
We did 38 shows in 39 days. Our only day off was our last day before we flew home.
Wow.
But the way that you beat that sickness, you started drinking the vodka?
I started drinking the vodka. And the Jägermeister and the Jameson.
Yes, but that's so, and I never even considered that, but that's a real thing too, because you think in Mexico you don't drink the water, and of course we know this growing up in Arizona. I mean, One More Minute was written about Rocky Point. So, but in Russia, apparently same thing. If you're an American, don't drink the water.
It tells you a lot about a country too when you're like, hey, I can't drink the water, but I can drink the booze, and it's really
yeah.
I know.
The booze will do me right. First thing for breakfast.
Yeah. That's amazing, Jason. You know, we've been playing covers all morning long, right? Because it's Halloween, so that's how I celebrate Halloween. So Mexican radio, of course, obviously it was a huge cover, Authority Zero. What's your favorite cover song besides playing Mexican radio? What is your favorite song to cover? Because I know you do a lot of like solo acoustic gigs and stuff, and he's gone. You hit the hard hitting questions, and that's when they just bail out. Yeah. He'll pop back in. But it was a good question. Trust me, Jason, if you can still see this. I was like, let me get a journalist real quick. He's like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, Beef. Click. While Jason's getting ready, though, earlier this morning we did our show open. It was Emil and I, and we had a good time. And if you don't believe me, it doesn't matter. Actually, Jason's back here. Okay, so yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, because I was going to end it on this question, too, so it's good timing. So I got two Jason Devores backstage, but here we go.
All right, I guess. Okay.
Okay. All right, so yes, now, you know, I know you've done a lot of solo gigs and stuff, acoustic gigs and stuff like that. What is your favorite song to cover of all time?
My favorite song to cover of all time. I don't know many covers. I'm going to be honest about that. A lot of kids get bummed on that when I play my solo shows because I'm not the cover song guy.
You're an artist who writes.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
What's this stuff? What's this garbage? My favorite song is probably, weirdly enough, it's "Stand By Me." It's like one I do all the time at my solo gigs, and it's like, even if the show's going south, it's like everybody starts singing along and they have a good time with it, and you know, you start seeing people's faces just change, and like, I don't know if it's like the familiarity of it, but it's also like just something that like you see like heartwarming faces kind of pop in. It's a really neat thing.
Nice. So, excellent. Well, you know, are you surprised at how many hits that Mexican radio has, like on Spotify? It's like 56 million or something.
Dude, it's our biggest song that is on even One More Minute. It's like it's the one that is ranked above, I think, One More Minute even. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I got to check to see if the original version even clocks in that many.
Know, right? Half of that, maybe.
I associate, you know, I mean, Mexican radio for Authority Zero, it just makes sense. If you know anything about the band, you know, where you grew up and stuff, it's like, yeah, it's an Arizona anthem. Of course you should be doing it.
Another generational thing too, because like a lot of kids think that's our song because it's 30 years plus 40 years old, you know, that song. So kids are like, I love your song. I'm like, that is not.
You guys.
Yeah, we did a good job on that one.
Don't even tell them anymore. No. You can let them Google it, but until then, just like take all the credit. Be like, yeah, I remember writing that. You know, when I was in Mexico on the radio.
Yeah, it was all sorts of. Yeah, it was cool. Quick story on that song too. So Stan Ridgway, we had to reach out to him, the singer of Wall of Voodoo, to get the permission to do the song, of course. And then it was kind of a cool thing. He was like, we were signed to Love Atlantic at the time, and that was their idea actually to do Mexican radio because like they again correlated us with the Mexico vibe and all these things.
Yeah.
You know? And they wanted, of course, the big single that was the cover song, kind of like the Alien Ant Farm vibe and all that stuff to be the thing. And I was so diehard against it because I was like that little punk rock kid that didn't want anything to do with it. Because I didn't want, I wanted nobody to know us because of other cover songs. I wanted them to know us because of our music and not be the cover band that was like known for that song, that thing. You know?
Right.
And get kind of pigeonholed or whatever. But in the end, so they worked it smart. They worked around the angle of they called our producer Miguel, who did the Sublime stuff, and with that last record we did Miguel and Ryan Green, who did the punk rock stuff. So we got the punk rock guy and we also got the Sublime guy, and kind of put them together. So they put him up to it to call me and be like, hey man, you should come out to Long Beach. We'll get high, we'll smoke all this weed, we'll drink all this booze, we'll have fun, we'll just record at my house, whatever, you know. And I was like, all right, dude, let's go. I get what's going on here. Let's give it a run. We tried recording in the studio and it wasn't grooving in my voice. Like I wasn't finding the right key, and I was like, this doesn't sound like it's gonna make sense to anybody on this record. So it flew me out. I went out there, we hung out, we smoked all the weed, we drank all the things. And I recorded all the vocals for that. And he used to live in Bradley Noel's old apartment that he used to live in too. And so I recorded all the vocals in this small little room in this bathroom. All was recorded in like this small bathroom, like a 4x4 bathroom. Yeah. And I did all of the vocals all over again in that bathroom, like all the harmonies, all of the layers you're hearing in that thing, just to redo it and give it a shot. And then he did his magic on it with, we got Marshall, who did like all the scratching and all the records and stuff on there, and the percussion, who did a lot of that early Sublime stuff. And it turned out to be cool. In the end, I was like, all right. And then older me now, I was like, you should have totally been all in for that. That should have been the single on the radio. You should have taken advantage of that situation. And you guys could have probably gone to the moon, Alice. You know what I mean? It's like, but the kid in me was like, absolutely not. But it turned out to be now one of my favorite songs to play live because kids just go apeshit, and it's fun.
Yeah, we're talking with Jason Devore on Rock 102.1 KFMA of Authority Zero, celebrating 30 years of Authority Zero, obviously Arizona legends, and they're kicking off a tour with the Mad Caddies this Friday at the Rock. So it's so great that you guys are kicking off a tour here, and that this is like a whole run, but that it lands on a Friday night. And it's also appropriate as we're playing covers all morning long. We talk about Mexican radio, and Jason just gave us a backstory on Mexican radio. And what's fitting, being on Rock 102.1 KFMA, our radio signal actually goes into Mexico a little bit. Yeah. So technically, Jason, you're on Mexican radio, bro.
What up?
Yeah.
Oh, Mexican.
Mind blown. In fact, actually, let me play a little bit of this here. It's a little scratch in here.
That's Marshall right there,
Yeah.
Those are real turntables.
Oh. Now, we've been doing our covers all morning long. It's Halloween. You know how we do it.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The town will listen. What does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio.
What's in right now?
I'm on a Mexican radio.
That's right. That's Mexican Radio by Authority Zero on Mexican Radio, Rock 102.1 KFMA. That's how we do it right here.
Wrote that song last week.
Yeah, he just wrote it. That's his. That's it. 100% his.
100% my song. Yeah.
Well, Jason, it's always a pleasure catching up with you, my friend. Safe travels on your run that you're going to be doing with the Mad Caddies. Look forward to the show that's happening at the Rock tomorrow night. And it's a very special night because it's also the night that they're dropping their EP, which is Songs for the Youth.
Speaking to the Youth.
Speaking to the Youth, yeah. Speaking of the Youth by Authority Zero comes out tomorrow, everywhere you stream music, and then you can celebrate with Jason and the crew Authority Zero with the Mad Caddies tomorrow night at the Rock. You can get your ticket information or information for this concert, KFMA.com on our concert calendar. But Jason, anything else that you could point people in the direction of before we let you go?
I got to do it just because I'm here. My new solo record, too, came out. It's called Till the Voice Goes Out. It's available. Go to jasondevore.com if you want to check that out. It was a lot of fun to make as well, and there's some really great songs on that. And just thanks a lot to everyone for the support, and we'll see you guys at KFMA. We'll see you guys in Tucson tomorrow night at the Rock.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, and next time you're in town, let me know. We'll have you in studio. We'll hang out and vibe and, do some performance and all that good stuff, all right?
I love it, Beef. Thanks, dude.
Yes, sir. All right, Jason Devore, everyone at 30. We're going to hit the reset and keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. I'll be back with another cover of Power Man 5000, Let the Good Times Roll. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Did I play that already? Jason, thanks again, brother. I appreciate you.
Dude,
Yes,
yeah.
thank you.
Thank
So nice
Oh,
meeting you.
sorry. Thank you.
Have a good day, guys.
You
Yeah,
too, brother.
thank you.
All right, earlier this morning we did our show open. In case you missed it, went a little something like this. Check it out. Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beefeater Presents Live. Well, sorry. Yo. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell over all that loud music. Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beefeater Presents Live on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Streamer worldwide at KFMA.com on this Halloween. Good morning, Emil.
Hey, happy Halloween, Tucson.
Yes, happy Halloween, Tucson. Let's start off with this. That's right. Hey, if you're booing, imagine how Rico felt.
Oh, is he a big Dodgers fan, huh?
No. He's not a Dodgers fan.
Oh, he's a Yankees fan. I mean.
Yeah. He's in New York. He's on his way back right now, but his mom was at Game 4 and Game 5
really?
Of the World Series. Yes.
Dang.
In fact, actually, keep an eye on the screen. I'm going to show you some hilarious photos. And if you guys aren't following Rico on Instagram, you need to. It's at Unreal Rico. He has hilarious content all the time. But on top of that, you just see the man's life. He documents it. He's a documentarian, if you will. So he and his mom surprised him last week by saying, hey, you were going to get an inheritance. Well, instead of your inheritance, I spent that money on World Series tickets for you and I to go to New York and check out Game 4 and Game 5.
Great investment.
Yeah, so he was stoked about it, and he went. But unfortunately, he got to see Game 4, and that was a massive win for the Yankees with a little bit of controversy, which we will get to. And then he had high hopes going into Game 5, saying, hey, they could make history and come back from being down 3-0. Nope. And, in the second inning, it looked like that was going to happen. But by the fifth inning, when they did 5 runs, the Dodgers did 5 runs to tie it up.
Yeah,
it was all but writing on the wall. Now, with that, Rico was there with his mom, his heartbreaking in real time. He didn't see any delays. He wasn't watching this on Twitter for highlights. And then after the game, I think this is the best picture possible. There's a couple things, but this is a picture of him and his mom. And the caption is, it was the friends we made along the way. Now, behind him and his mom are flipping off the camera, double birding it. And then behind him, about 5 rows, is a Dodgers fan double birding them. And that is New York in the World Series in a nutshell.
Yep.
And he could not have explained it any better. And then the following post, him in the shower, and the caption is just thinking about the alternative I'd be in right now if Garrett Cole covered first or if Rizzo hustled, stopping the downfall of the perfect 5-0 lead. And he's drinking a shower beer, looking all depressed. And then the follow-up caption is getting stabbed by a Dodger fan during a Game 6 Yankee win. Rico's weird. We know this. That's what we love him for. But yeah, so unfortunately for him and his mom, and of course, obviously the millions of Yankees fans, they did not get their, bazillionth World Series title. But this was a big win for the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's a big win for baseball nonetheless. Because LA versus New York it's a big World Series.
It is, and it really is. Like I had no interest in it because it is kind of like these two huge teams that are always like kind of getting to that point anyway. Like the Yankees, of course, and I'm all right that they got beat, but I think I'm still a little sour because the Diamondbacks being put out so early on. Well, not so early on, but by the Padres a couple back in September. So
yeah. Well, you know what? The Diamondbacks are a good ball club, and they had a good year last year. It is what it is. But we just knew once the Dodgers were up 3 games and done, that it was over.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it was a fantastic experience. Rico may be back in studio a little bit or tomorrow, or he might even pop in with us this morning, depending on what his layover is like, because he is flying back from New York City. But, a lot of shows in Tucson will talk about the World Series. There's only one show that will send one of our correspondents to New York, to the Bronx, to report on it. Now, yes, granted, we have not heard from Rico at all. I did exchange some text messages, some on the grounds, like, what's the food like? What's the temperature like? And we're all caught up on there. But yeah, I am very intrigued to hear what it was like when an entire baseball stadium of generational fans.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with the Diamondbacks, right? Like, yeah, we could be fans of the Diamondbacks. We remember their first year.
I was there in their inaugural game.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing.
That's like 2
First
decades
generation. It's not your daughter. It's not your daughter's daughter who's been fans of the Diamondbacks. With this situation in New York, it is instilled in them. I bet you there's a large percentage of the people that were at the game in the World Series that literally had pinstripes on their onesie when they were babies.
It's part of their culture.
Yes, it is. So, yeah, always heartbreaking but fun at the same time. Now, of course, the game that they did win, the Yankees did win, was Game 4. And in Game 4, the viral moment was the 2 Yankees fans who ended up, knocking a foul ball out of Mookie Betts' glove, right?
I saw that.
Yeah. Well, there's Tucson ties to that, man.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Really?
Now, yeah.
Of course there is.
Yeah. So
of course there is.
Gronkowski, Rob Gronkowski was on ESPN, talking about the World Series game. And then he said this, which blew the host's mind. Here, I'm going to play you the audio real quick. Listen to this.
What we're seeing here.
This is actually the first time I'm seeing this live. Okay. And here's a little fun fact. That
live.
guy right there grabbing Mookie Betts' glove
Don't tell me you know
was
him.
my friend in college.
Gronk, stop it right now.
He was on the ice hockey team, the club Arizona Wildcats team, ice hockey team. And let me tell you, the whole hockey team, they were absolute maniacs. They were.
All right, bear down. So, yes, he is he's an ice cat, a former ice cat. The man that Rob Gronkowski is talking about is U of A alum Austin Capabianco.
Oh, okay.
Capabianco was the man who had the happy face of, grabbing the ball and getting it out of the glove and standing his ground and becoming a local legend, but also getting kicked out of the World Series at the same time. Yeah. And of course, he has Tucson ties. So we're a little legendary just for Capabianco and the fact that he's an ice cat. And during the time that he was playing the game, the team was crazy as all hell. And I'm pretty sure I saw Capabianco in like a big, team brawl from one of the viral videos from back in the day that would happen at TCC with the U of A Ice Cats. So it's great to see that, Tucson is represented in the World Series twice. You had Rico there, and you had Austin Capabianco, U of A alum there, just wreaking havoc.
A double win for Tucson.
Yeah. And it's crazy about this, too, because Gronk went on to say, hey, this guy was always diehard Yankees, right? Ever since we were kids. He's a New Yorker. He came out there playing hockey. He's Capabianco. So, this doesn't surprise me. And then Austin Capabianco, when being interviewed, he was like, he said, this is our wall. This is, he was basically playing D. He was bragging about how he would do it 10 out of 10 times because this is our house and you're playing D, and it's someone that has to break it to him like, you're not playing, bro.
Yeah.
You're in the stands. Like that's
watch.
Yeah, it's not your D to play. I understand the passion. You want your team to win, but you aren't on the team. I know that you're wearing the jersey. I know there's a number on it, but that number's not yours. I get it.
He's like, no, I got to do this for the team.
Yeah.
I'm part of the team.
Yeah.
Just looking at this picture, it's so good.
And if he would have won, I'm sure he would have been more part of the team, but yeah, unfortunately they didn't. And I'm not going to bag on him too much because he is a U of A alum, and it's great that at least people that come from Tucson, have spent some time from Tucson, go out there and they make history. Good or bad, still counts.
Yeah.
So bear down. All right, we got a great show for you today. It is Halloween, so that means we're going to load up. All right, so this is...
There he is.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, Austin Capabianco saying Mookie was swearing at us. Not good. That was Darren Capio, the brother of the fan ejected for prying the glove of Mookie. Of course, he did come back to haunt them, and Rob Gronkowski was like, that's my boy, Ice Cats, U of A alum, Austin Capabianco.
I'm so confused. What happened?
Okay, well, Game 4 of the World Series, there was a foul ball that the Yankees hit, and it went close to the stands. And a Dodgers player went to go catch the foul ball because if you catch the foul ball, then that player's out, right?
Okay.
It's baseball. And Mookie Betts was the player, and he did catch the foul ball, but then the Yankees fan ended up prying it out of the glove and trying to make it a miss. Yeah, so blatantly interfering in the game.
Wow.
To which upset Dodgers fans for sure, but made him celebrated amongst Yankees fans. He was kicked out of the ballpark, but not banned from the Yankees because they're like, hey, it's New Yorkers. It's what they're going to do.
I thought they got told him he can come to Game 5 or something like that.
He was banned from the rest of the World Series. Yeah. And so it turns out then the very next day, they're talking to Rob Gronkowski, U of A alum, about this game. And Rob drops this on him and says, that's my boy, actually. I went to college with him. Oh. And he ended up being a U of A alum, the guy who went viral, a U of A alum and a former Ice Cat. A U of A hockey player.
I went to college with him, too. I remember Rob at parties.
Do you remember Rob at parties?
Yeah,
We're back here live
around.
on the air. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right, so you're the same age, Rob Gronkowski?
Yeah.
Damn, I forget how young he is, too, because, he's already retired and good to go. So you went to parties with him.
Well, I just remember him at one party, and I remember him walking around campus.
Okay. Real quick follow-up question. How good was he in bed?
I did not go to bed with him.
Oh.
So
I doubt
would not
that.
know.
Okay, when was he the same type of Gronk that we're used to today? Seeing him on a thing, was he kind of loud, boisterous, fun?
I mean, I clearly remember him from college, so I do think he was like a personality back then too.
Yeah, tall and
Like, he just
good
had,
looking.
like a big aura, like he commanded a lot of.
You saw his
space.
aura,
Yes, I did.
and you didn't sleep with him.
I did not.
No.
Wah, wah.
The guy shows you his aura. I don't know. That seems like that's already third base.
I showed you my aura.
Yeah. You're rounding third at that point, So you only saw him one party, two parties? How many
Just
parties?
one party, I believe.
Okay. And did he hook up with any of your girlfriends?
No, I think it was a huge party, so it's like I saw him from across the space.
Okay. So he was the man on campus, though. So you saw him across the space. You're like, who's that? Tall drink of water?
I think we just.
Did you crush on him, or were you just like, who's that guy that looks like Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Like, what was the reaction?
No, I don't know, because I don't even remember how I really knew him. He was just kind of like a bigger deal back then too, because he was like big on the football team.
Yeah,
he had like a posse, and like he just kind of looked.
Of course,
like
he had a
big deal.
posse. Yeah, he was a big deal. Kind of still is.
Yeah.
And he's tall.
I know he's tall. I mean, I got to hang out with Gronk at a Halloween party just a couple years ago. He was here in town, and with coach of the basketball team too. So Tommy Lloyd, they were hanging out together. They were both having fun, and Rob was actually somewhat reserved at this Halloween party. Coach Lloyd, on the other hand, was having a little more fun.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him.
Absolutely. I was like, "You're my favorite Coach Lloyd." I gave him a little Halloween prank and stuff, and he turned it into a penis joke. And I was like, yeah, I can see why the players love you. I can see why players are like, you know what, I want to go play for this guy.
Yeah.
And this is how we build championship teams. All right, quick question here. Do you believe that we're going to know either aliens exist or that ghosts are real first? Which one do you think we're going to find out first?
Aliens.
Yeah.
You say aliens first? Okay, well, not if Ring Camera has anything to do with it.
Oh.
Yeah, Ring Camera is actually throwing it out there because there's been plenty of ghost sightings on Ring cameras because we got security cameras everywhere. So if the truth is out
That
there,
is true, yeah.
it will get captured on CCTV. So the doorbell camera company is hosting a contest for Halloween called the Great Ghost Search. And they say for undeniable footage of one, you can get $100,000 from Ring Cam. Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, they announced it last month, and you only have till tomorrow to submit. So if you have any ghost footage on your Ring Cam, make sure you submit it in there so you can get $100,000. Now, I'll even show you some of the best submissions so far because these are actual Ring Cam ghosts that they caught, right? So you got the orb right here, right? You see that?
That's dust.
It's some dust.
Looks
like a Roomba.
Yeah.
All right, you think that's dust?
The ghastly
All
Roomba.
right, we'll see another orb here. Does that look like dust?
Water droplet.
Dust. That's
Okay, that's a ghost.
That's a box that's moving by itself.
a child that fell into a box outside. Just joking. Doing the
Oh, what about that?
Yeah, that is a little weird.
Yeah, so what we're seeing here is like a black shadow going across the screen. This is a New Jersey toy store that doesn't open until 10 a.m. So it was odd when the Ring camera went off at 8 and it saw this basically black cloud run across its security camera. Yeah, toy store. Something about toy stores and game stores goes like the habitate. All right, what about this one here? Someone was having a drink when they heard motion at the front door, so they went up to go check the motion at the front door. That was the motion. How about that for a ghost?
Spooky trench coat man.
Yeah.
That is weird, though. That's a pretty weird one.
Yeah, and then when she returned, her seat had been moved and her drink was on the floor.
Oh, tricky.
Spooky.
Oh, and see, somebody sat in there.
Taking a drink.
This is manipulated.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a
Ghosts can't
stretch.
hold stuff like that.
at him, man. He just littered.
Yeah, because ghosts don't care about littering.
I know he didn't.
All right,
He didn't care
so
about the
we're watching
environment.
this on the podcast broadcast. If you want to see what we're talking about, they say a preschool in Colorado might have captured Casper looking for friends. Let's see how ghosts like these images are, and if it makes us a believer. Again, YouTube.com/PeteFegan. But if you have any ghost imaging on your images on your Ring Cam footage, then make sure you send it to Ring, and maybe you could win $100,000. Check this out. Look at that.
It's like a little smudge.
No, it's a smudge that's going around looking for things. Very Casper-like. So that was some of the best Ring Cam footage the USA Today accumulated. So the two main rules of videos, they have to be 30 seconds or less, and the footage must be filmed on a Ring device. So if you got undeniable footage of a ghost, then you got to submit it. Get yourself $100,000.
Yeah.
Now, we recently saw footage from a friend with their security camera footage of things moving off a shelf.
Correct.
When no one was around.
Mhm.
Did that footage make you a believer?
Yes.
And honestly, I'll reach out to him today. It's Shane, Tucson Games and Gadgets. I'll reach out to him today and be like,
Ooh,
you
send
need to
that in.
Yeah, submit that, dude.
Yeah, I'd like to check that out again.
Yeah. Oh, it's a
Pretty
legit
good.
video too. So, whether you're a believer or not, you're seeing some phenomena on Ring camera, and they're even having a contest for it. So, if you have any of that accumulated on your hard drive, send it in. Make that money.
Seriously, I mean, my house is haunted. I'm pretty sure. My ghost needs to get to work, paying me back.
We
Get
asked
on
that,
that ring.
we asked that question earlier too, and our listeners were just like, "Hey, if the ghost pays rent, and it's fine, you get
Yeah.
to stay." There was even one girl who called in who said she wouldn't mind if the ghost paid rent, but I was like, "What if it was like a perverted ghost, right? That every time you took off your shirt it was like boo, like creepy like that." And then she did not like that answer, so hung up on me immediately and changed the station. I don't know what happened, but I'm just kidding. All right, let's keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. We have a Halloween designed beef tip to you because I know a lot of you out there are going to be basically parent taxing your kids' candy.
Oh, yeah.
You eat too much candy, what do you need to do? Well, I got the beef tip for you. Stick around to find out what that is. After these words, we're keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. And I'll probably squeeze in one more cover. But before that, I did... should I play the... What?
What are you going to play?
Well, earlier this morning we had I was busting Spears balls. That was fun.
Yes, you were.
But we had a different segment that I thought was fun. It was the dating app segment. No, do you think that was fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I came up with a bunch of different dating app ideas. Here, I'm scrubbing ahead here. And I feel like we could become millionaires. I know. If Rico was here, he'd immediately just start jotting down how to put it together because he's always looking for get rich ideas. I invited Rico, by the way, to join the stream, but I think he's in the air right now. And happy Halloween, Dave. Good to see you. Earlier this morning, there was a bunch of unbelievably real dating apps that we came across. These are real dating apps. So inspired off of that, knowing that there's a fetish for everything, I came up with a list of my own dating apps as ideas, threw it out there in the universe in case you missed it, went a little something like this. Check it out. Look through that list. If I have it in my playlist, I'll squeeze it in and surprise you this morning. Now, we were just talking about these apps. This is hilarious, too, because when I came across this list, I had no idea that a lot of these apps even existed. And then so I started thinking of a concept for a game to come up with different fake apps. And then when I started writing it, I'm like, actually, these aren't bad ideas at all. First, let me share with you some of these real dating apps. These are 100% real that are out there. For all of you guys out there, maybe in a current boat, can't go on some of them. You might want to go to these other ones. There's an app called Pure, which is the go-to app for being anonymous, where no social media link is required and chats disappear after 24 hours if you so choose. So it's like Snap, and this is casual dating apps, and apparently there's a lot of them. HUD, which is plain and simple. This one's for what they call commitment-free dating. Down, the casual dating app is primed for threesomes and one-night stands, and comes with conversation starters if you find yourself with a lack of words. But if you're out there trying to get two people at the same time, you need to at least learn how to speak to one of them.
Yeah, totally. You have to have a little charisma.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then here's another one that I think Weirdo would have loved when she was still open to adding to her community. Field, and it's spelled FEELD, which caters to open and polyamorous relationships along with threesome and group activities. Yeah, and I will tell you, there's some of you out there that are on regular dating apps like Bumble and Tinder that need to be on Field instead because, there's one or two opening headlines or lines in a dating profile. One, I'm in an ENM, ethical non-monogamous relationship, right? Or two, not trying to be your third or, in an ethical non-monogamous relationship. So you got two distinct different people that are on dating apps that I've seen in the past, right? Like a growing phenomena where that's their opening line. Like, first and foremost, don't come at me if you got like 4 partners already.
Yeah.
Right? Or the flip side of that coin. I got 4 partners looking for a fifth wheeler. All right. So those are all the real dating apps. But when we start getting creative and you smoke on it a little bit, there's some other good ideas that you could throw out there. And honestly, if you guys know how to code and create this, here's some free ideas for you. We talked about Snugglebug, which is strictly for snuggling, all right? The app matches you based off your cuddle preferences, blanket type, favorite spoon position. And honestly, no kissing, just serious spooning. There's legitimately businesses out there, mostly in Japan, that provide this service where people just snuggle. And there's professional snugglers. We've done these stories on the radio before, right? You could rent someone for an hour just to snuggle with you. And you know what? Science has shown that there's a certain dopamines that are released in the brain when you snuggle up with somebody. So
hugging is great, man. Like, we do connect on a very personal level with it. Just sad that we have to get to this point where we're like, please.
I know.
I need somebody to snuggle with.
Right? What about this? This is a fake dating app, but should be real. If we call it Dentistique. All right, Dentistique. It's specifically for people with a thing for teeth.
Does that
Oral
exist?
fixation.
No, it doesn't. That's the thing. Whether you're into incisors, molars, or perfect flossing technique, and you have great teeth. I know teeth is a deal breaker for some, and people are looking for that ultimate smile. What if it was a dating app that's just for people that have great smiles?
It's just a bunch of dentists.
Yeah,
just a bunch of dentists and orthodontics
and dental assistants.
Yeah.
Let's see, or the dating app Homebrewed. Okay. It's for the love of homemade beer, kombucha, any DIY or DIY like fermentation projects. So it's an app for people who smell like yeast and are proud of it. Yeah.
Interesting.
No, you're not a fan of that one?
No.
Okay, based off your face, I could tell. What about this one? Mood Ring. It matches people based on their current mood.
Oh, that could be interesting to see just a couple cranky people hanging out,
Oh.
just yelling at each other and watching that show.
But at the same time, you look at somebody, there's a lot of women out there that judge someone based off their aura, their color that they're
putting out.
Yeah. And so this is a dating app for them. People who collect rocks and call them gemstones.
They're minerals.
Mood Ring. So it's not a real thing, but it should be. This app is something I want to create myself, just so I can find my ultimate brunch buddy. It's called Brunch Buddy.
Brunch Buddy.
Yeah, exclusively for the brunch crowd, right?
No romance.
No. You do romance, but
Oh, okay.
basically it's for the people who are open the date on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Sometimes my favorite dates are the ones that are happening earlier in the day.
Yeah.
And then you get a good meal, and then you have some good extracurricular activities, and you still got the rest of the day to do your responsibilities and whatnot. Go to bed early, so that I think Brunch Buddy should be a real dating app.
Get a little afternoon delight in. And
Yes.
It's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah.
Not so bad.
Absolutely. All right, 2 more for you. These are fake dating apps, but should be real. Islemate. The whole stereotype is you should meet somebody in the grocery store, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this connects people based off their love for grocery shopping, as someone who loves the same frozen foods as you, someone who prefers organic only and refuses to bag produce in plastic, those type of people.
Wow.
Because it is almost like an unwritten deal breaker based off of your grocery habits.
Yeah.
And you want to meet with somebody who's compatible and what's more on how they buy food at the grocery store.
I mean, you might be living together and you might be a weirdo vegan. I've been there before.
Yeah.
You're not going to hang out with somebody that's like a meat eater. How are you going to have dinner together and make dinner together?
If you don't have like-minded tastes and similar tastes when it comes to food, then you're doomed. My last relationship, she just ate a bunch of weird rabbit food. I just could not get into it, dude. Yeah, so, at the end of the day, Islemate is a dating app that needs to happen. All right? And then finally, this is not one I would sign up for, but I know that if somebody is super like fit and they have like an extreme healthy hobby, that's all they care about, and they only want somebody that has a similar hobby. So I came up with the dating app idea called Cardio Crush.
Cardio.
Yeah, it's for those who generally want to find someone they could literally long distance run away with.
Yeah.
So your profile is a treadmill performance, and dates start out at a sprint.
I hate to be a bummer with it though, but Cardio Crush just reminds me of like heartbreak.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
It's just Cardio Crush, heartbreak.
Yeah.
Crushing your heart.
Oh.
Breaking your heart.
Okay, well, still, you know.
But hopefully it doesn't happen.
I
when
mean,
you're
yeah,
on
that's a
Cardio Crush.
pessimistic way to look
I
at
guess
it. All right, we got to interrupt the clip that I was playing on the podcast broadcast. We're back here live on the air. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in for our Halloween Spectacular. Of course, we did a lot of covers, and we ended it with Chris Cornell's Guns N' Roses cover, Patience, by request.
Nice.
It's Halloween. I hope you guys enjoy it. And before we leave, I want to give you a beef tip. I know you guys are going to eat a bunch of candy. I'm kind of sad I don't get the dad tax this year, but I will be at the Walgreens on November 1st getting all that discounted candy. And once you eat too much candy, what are you going to do? Well, here is a health tip for you. You could binge on this candy. Have no fear. After you're done eating that, eat some sauerkraut.
Huh.
Yes, and here's why. Because, you know, that fermented food actually adds to a delicate balance of good bacteria in your gut.
That it does.
It can help rebalance your microbiome.
Microbiome, yeah.
Yeah, because it's one of the 4 Fs. Fiber, phytochemicals, don't know that one, and saturated fats, and then fermented foods. So by fermented foods like sauerkraut are important because they help replenish good bacteria your gut needs to keep it healthy. So after you try to dose it with all the bad bacteria, with all that delicious candy, just eat some sauerkraut at the end.
You'll be good.
It's like hitting the reset on your gut.
And gut translates right to your brain too. Like there's been tons of studies about this. Like, you know, treat your body well.
There you go. See, that's my healthiest friend. So take it from him. He was vegan for years. And that is your beef tip. Sorry to bring up the vegan thing.
It's all right. It's an embarrassing moment in my life, but, you know, drugs did have a part in that.
Thank you guys for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Halloween. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later. Like, oh, tough memories. Tough memories.
It's all right.
I miss cheese so hard.
But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.